So we're back to first couple of steps of fixing the business. What are those steps? Where do we go from here?
Here's the thing. I hate to say it this way, but every business is different.
Yeah.
There's no one way to fix a business every time. I'll have somebody that's having, help issues. I'm going to choke them, or, I can't find help, or, anything like that. That's a different scenario than somebody that's having a profit issue or cash issue or bleeding cash, versus somebody that does, I've got a pretty good crew, but we're not getting the work out that we could. And now let's sit down and start talking about processes. And it's all about these different things. So to have an idea that it's going to be one thing that we can talk about that's going to fix the business every time, it doesn't happen.
Well, so I think you just answered my question perfectly, right? You need somebody with a 30,000 foot view to take a look down.
You need to recognize you have a problem first.
Right. Recognize you have a problem.
Look for a resource.
Right. Somebody with a 30,000 foot view that can look down and can really dig into that. Because when we worked on my business, I had 50 different things that I thought were the problem. And looking back, not one of the things that I thought was the problem has ever been even talked about again. We've never done anything to fix those problems. Those weren't the problems. I had it up here that I had these problems, but somebody else looking from the outside in saw something completely different.
But at the same time, those problems are gone.
Absolutely. Like they're so gone that I don't even think that originally they were problems. I just didn't know where to look.
Right.
And I think the problem is that we end up in the thick of it. We end up right in the middle of it. And we're saying, what do we do now? Well, I see this guy, he raised his prices, and this guy did this and this guy did that. The reality is no one business is the same. And until we get into the business and we really look and see where the business stands today, and can look and see what's happening, whether it be with the numbers, whether it be with the staff, whether it be with the potential. And I think the biggest word of this entire show has been potential, right? If we don't understand what our potential is, we will never hit it. Well, and if you don't have somebody willing to tell you, hey, listen, your potential is $100,000 a month, I'm just glad you didn't tell me that when we started, because I would have quit coaching with you immediately and said, this guy's crazy. I never would have done that,
Yeah.
David still tells me I'm crazy.
But here's the thing. When you're looking at other people's solutions, you need to understand what their pain was, what they perceived the problem to be, and did what they took action on, did it fix the issue? Because a lot of times it isn't. A lot of times, just like your customers are coming in and saying, I need this, I need that, I need this, y'all are doing the same thing to coaches and to the group all the time. Instead of telling people what your issue is or what your pain point is, you're coming to them to say, how do I increase car count? It may not be a car count issue. What is your issue? What makes you think you need more cars, right? So that people can understand what the pain point is. And then you can start to see what goes on. Now you can say, okay, well, what about this? What about this? Right. Now that's one of the things. See, coaches, and there's a lot of good coaches. I'm not the only good. I am a good coach, but there are a lot of good coaches. And one of the things that you got to recognize is these guys are here so that we can compress decades into days.
Yeah.
Right? Lucas could have figured out how to do it. Although, Lucas, when you and I met, you were 1 week from closing your doors.
Yeah, I was ready. I was done. Man, I'm telling you. I was where David Roman is today. I mean, did I say that? I'm sorry. I'm just playing, David.
But seriously, you've got to be able to step back and say, this is the issue. This is what hurts. Don't tell the doctor what to do. Tell him what hurts.
Yeah.
Right?
And look, here's the thing, is that just like your customer coming through the door, and that's a great analogy, right? Because we see it all the time. Hey, my car's making this noise, and I think it was this, and I would think it was that. And, Gonzo told me a story years ago, and I think it's in one of his books, where he talked about dog stories, and he said people would call and say, you'll never believe this. And the dog ran off. And he's like, what in the hell does the dog running off have to do with your car? Like, I don't know where this comes from. Like, what, and they would go through this whole story trying to just explain their situation and how they felt, what they were going through. And I think it's worth taking into account that shop owners do the same thing, right? They do the same thing to coaches. They do the same thing in ASOG. So you need to bring it back a little bit and understand that in the thick of it, right? You're in the middle of the fire. You don't really know what's going on. You need help. You need somebody with a higher viewpoint that can dig in and see what it is. Somebody you trust, somebody you believe in, whether it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, somebody, right? You need an outside perspective of the business.